One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two.
The ideal of freedom. Freedom is fundamental to the promise of America.
The Vice President talking to hundreds of people here in the state capitol. Straight ahead, her message as we get closer to the presidential primaries.
We just want to keep Dr. King's dream alive, and we just want to let the world know that he really meant a lot to us.
And today, hundreds honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., how his dream many decades ago is still pushing people to make an impact of their own. And happening right now, a commemoration to the late Dr. King. We take you live to that celebration for the activist's lasting work. Your news at 5 starts right now. Well, good Monday afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this special online edition of your News at 5. I'm Friendly Clairvaux. Today, many people across the Midlands celebrating and honoring the life of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And that's what's happening right now at MLK Park here in Columbia. And we take you there live right now. Now, this is the 36th annual running of this event. 36th annual running of this particular event. Now we could see a number of dignitaries who are in the house. We do see one school board member who is there, Aaron Bishop, who is there, as well as some other dignitaries. All of this are taking place right after the events at the State House today, where the Vice President Kamala Harris spoke. We will definitely have more later on this commemoration that's taking place at MLK Park. And as the camera's panning, we see Chief Aubrey Jenkins there. We see Columbia Mayor Daniel Rickman there as well. And we see newly elected Senator Tamika Isaac Devine right there at this event ceremony. Of course, we will have more on that coming up later on tonight. Well, today, the Vice President joining in on the celebrations around the Midlands. She talked as the keynote speaker at this year's King Day at the Dome event in Columbia. Hundreds and hundreds of people rallied at the State House grounds. Arkeana Jordan was there as the VP talked about a fight she wants people to be ready to take on.
Kamala Harris making a pit stop during her King Day visit to Columbia at Big T Barbecue, where she met with dozens and dozens of supporters.
South Carolina set the path for Joe Biden to become President of the United States and me to be the first Black woman Vice President.
It was one of several stops in the Midlands after spending the earlier part of the day at the State House as the keynote speaker for the annual King Day at the Dome rally. That rally started in the year 2000 as a call to action when more than 45,000 people marched to the State House demanding that state leaders remove the Confederate flag from the State House dome.
This moment in America, freedom is under profound threat.
Harris speaking out against Republican-backed legislation aimed at restricting access to abortion, gun laws, and LGBTQ legislation. This year's King Day at the Dome comes during a critical election year, with South Carolina voters ready to head to the polls the first week of February for the country's first in the South Democratic primary. Harris laid out the Biden administration's successes in South Carolina, including getting high-speed internet to rural areas. South Carolina's Democratic primary is set for February 3rd. President Biden will be traveling to South Carolina 1 week before the vote. In Columbia, I'm Kiana Jordan, Watch Fox News, Local First.
And before the vice president's appearance, hundreds gathered this morning to honor Dr. King. They were there at Zion Baptist Church for one of the biggest services in the Midlands, and they've been doing it for decades, remembering Dr. King's legacy. The people were led by keynote speaker and Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader of the U.S. House of Representatives. Congressman Jim Clyburn was also part of the service. The people of Columbia who participated say it's important to have these events year in and year out.
Celebrates the life and times of a great person, a great historian that's very, very important to American history. A person that stood for peace for everyone. And anytime you have someone that did the magnificent things that he did in the United States for civil rights, you always want to commend those individuals and celebrate everything they've actually done.
And following that service, hundreds of the same very people marched to the State House to attend this year's King Day at the Dome event. And along the roads, marchers shouted the words, "No justice, no peace." This act of pounding the pavement has been a tradition since the King Day at the Dome started more than a decade ago. RJ Coleman brings you right to the streets along with them.
Hundreds gathering outside Zion Baptist Church in Columbia Monday morning to make their march towards the State House.
Exciting, we're excited, it just feels awesome.
The march honors the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who people here are forever grateful to because of the impact he left on the country.
It's humbling, yet it's an inspiration to the next generations of what this day is all about and what he was, what he's about as a person.
The crowd was joined by dozens of civil rights organizations, the South Carolina State Marching Band, and many more. They walked the streets of Columbia down Main Street to the State House for the King Day at the Dome.
We just want to keep Dr. King's dream alive, and we just want to let the world know that he really meant a lot to us.
It's been more than 60 years since Dr. King's "I Have a Dream" speech, and the people marching Monday remain driven by that same dream.
The march is actually symbolic of the civil rights that all people, actually participated in.
Still so much more to the fight that we have to be a part of even in today.
In Columbia, Jay Coleman, Watch Fox News, Local First.
And after making it to the State House, the hundreds cheered for and listened to a number of speakers. And of course, the highlight of this event was Vice President Kamala Harris, who wanted to emphasize the importance of the power to vote. She talked to a group made up of people of all ages, while many young people were in attendance. Amashari Adams spoke with that group specifically about the importance of MLK Day.
Young people are showing up to these events, and we do care about the future of our nation.
Young people were a big part of the crowd during this year's King Day at the Dome rally. High schooler Anika Carvey says MLK Day is a reminder of how everyone can come together to create change.
We can come together and we can push forward, and there is always hope for the future. And in a time when our democracy is so fragile, it's essential that all of us do our part.
Remembering the heritage, the history that we as Black Americans come from, remembering the strong lineage that we come from, remembering who we are as people, but also recommitting ourselves to the service, to the work that needs to be done in our communities.
Other young people say Martin Luther King Day reminds them of the opportunities they have because of Dr. King's sacrifices.
Freedom, that's what I say. Just access to different opportunities, such as attending the University of South Carolina. I'm privileged enough to be the president of the Theta Gamma chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated at USC, and even today, like, MLK Day just means serving others before serving yourself.
The theme of this year's rally is ballots for freedom, ballots for justice, ballots for change. And this year's rally comes just weeks before voters in South Carolina will head to the polls for February's Democratic and Republican primaries.
Remembering the power through the ballot, through the box, through politics, elections, things like that. Just kind of bringing it all together for a day of service.
While there were people from all walks of life, the young crowd did show up and express their admiration for Dr. King.
This great day is for him, for us to celebrate Martin Luther King.
In Columbia, Masharia Adams, Watch Fox News, Local First.
Well, the weather was on our side for today's events. I was at the State House, Clara, earlier, and it wasn't as cold as I thought it would have been.
Yes, that cold front is pushing it a little bit later than what we expected, but as we go through our Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we did see some nice temperatures. Here's what we're currently seeing outside as we hit the rest of our day. We're going to be seeing our temperatures pretty much in the 45 degrees for most of our area. Most of us are in the 40s as we speak right now, going into the rest of our day. Here's right now temperatures currently outside as we head into outside. This is the look at downtown Columbia. The sun is starting to set. It's a beautiful day. Right now, temperature, most of us are in at 62 degrees. We're going to be having that feel like temperature stay about 62. We have some calm winds. We do have that dew point at 42 degrees. Moving on to what we're going to be seeing across our area, most of us are in the low 60s. You could see some upper 50s for some parts of our area. As we go throughout the day, we're going to be seeing those temperatures drop down just a little bit, and we are going to be having some increase in clouds, getting down into the low 50s and some upper 40s. We're going to have some clouds increasing. We do have that low pressure making its way over as they move through overnight. Temperatures between 40 and 45 degrees, a chilly light, calm winds. We do have some rain chances as well. We're going to be ending our day pretty dry. The nice way to wrap up our MLK Day. But as Tuesday comes, we do have some showers entering in. Those showers will be pulling in from the west, staying mainly to the eastern part of the Midlands and central part of the Midlands. We can see those showers mainly in the morning, kind of pushing out by the afternoon hours. Most of it will be lingering out by 2:30. We should be done with the rain. So most of it will be in the morning time. Also, another thing for tomorrow, we're going to be having plenty of sunshine when it comes to our evening time. Rain chances do stay heavy into the morning. And another thing that we're going to be seeing is some cool temperatures. We're going to be in the low 30s as we go throughout, low 20s as we go throughout. Monday, we could see some temperatures, Wednesday, we could see some temperatures in the teens as well. Moving on to those low temperatures that we're going to be expecting, we're going to have temperatures Monday, Tuesday, pretty much high, but then by Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be dropping off to sub-freezing weather, and we could expect some cool temperatures by the weekend, looking at 17 degrees at night.
South Carolina women's basketball is back in action tonight, and they'll do it back as the unanimous #1 team in the country. Today's latest AP women's basketball rankings keeping the Gamecocks as the #1 team in the country for the 10th straight week, but also returning them to unanimous #1 for the first time in a few weeks, thanks to #2 UCLA falling yesterday. So that makes Dawn Staley's squad the only undefeated team left in the country heading into tonight's home battle with Kentucky. The head coach calling this a rivalry matchup and saying they are not taking anything for granted when they line up opposite the Wildcats.
What they do well is they play in transition well. They're gonna force us to stop them. If not, they'll continue to drive the ball down our throats. They rebound the ball well. They can apply a lot of pressure. And it's a rival game for us, so we take nothing for granted when it comes to playing Kentucky. We prep, like we're going to throw everything at us, and hopefully we can be disciplined on both sides of the basketball, and and actually lean on the home crowd to pull us through another game.
South Carolina and Kentucky tip off tonight at 7 p.m. over at the CLA. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction from the team tonight on Watch Fox.
All right, Matt, thank you so much for that. Well, ahead on your news at 10, the latest in the long-running legal saga for convicted killer Alec Murdaugh. A hearing happening tomorrow with a new justice overseeing the former lawyer's bid to overturn his double murder conviction. Tonight, we break down all the new developments and twists in this case that has grabbed the attention of many across the nation and the world, to be quite frank. But before we go on your news at 5, the special news at 5 online, let's check in again with Clara Faith with a look at our weather forecast. Clara?
All right, tomorrow we're going to be seeing some AM showers, mainly in the AM. We can see showers start early Tuesday, ending and wrapping up about that 1 p.m. hour. Most of these showers will be staying to the eastern parts of the Midlands, so not all of us will see these showers. Another thing to look out for, Wednesday is going to be a cold one. We got some temperatures in the low 20s. We even see in 17, we could have some temperatures drop that low in some parts of the Midlands. So that is definitely going to be a cold morning for us. And as we go throughout the rest of the week, our weekend is looking cold. We do have a strong 17 for our lows.
Wow.
Saturday is going to be maybe our high in the low 40s and upper 30s. We could see some temperatures even lower than that. But for the rest of our weekend, we're going to be expecting some AM showers Tuesday, a cold Wednesday and Thursday. It looks like Friday will be pretty normal. And then the weekend, we got that cold front moving back in with bringing us some cold temperatures. It looks like Monday even has a 20 pop as well.
Wow.
So we're expecting some cold temperatures.
Okay, so Claire, when I see this, my brain goes to, is this potential for snow, 17, 20 degrees?
No.
You're not going to say?
Jack Frost.
Okay, she's not going to say it. I got you. Because if she says snow, everybody will be like, Clara, where is it?
I'm going to wait till my models confirm some more.
There, I got you. Absolutely. All right, Claire, thank you so much for that.
No problem.
All right, thank you for joining us for this special online edition of Watch Fox News at 5. Once again, don't forget it will be here tonight at 10. And also, 1 hour special, the King Day at the Dome. You can visit our Facebook page as well.